As health and wellness providers, we know that better patient outcomes require a whole person, multidisciplinary approach that we just can't provide on our own. That's why I've started the Wellness Center Creators podcast. I'll be bringing you interviews with experts, tips, tricks, secrets, resources, systems, and solutions so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And creating your wellness center won't feel like starting over. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to introduce our sponsor, Jenn. Jenn is an all-in-one practice management software with features like online booking, scheduling, documentation, and a PCI-compliant payment solution. The time you spend with your patients and clients is valuable, and filling out forms during their appointment can quickly take away from your time together. That's why the team at Jenn has designed online intake forms that your patients can complete from the comfort of their homes. And to help them remember to fill out their forms, Jenn has your back with a friendly email reminder sent 24 hours before their appointment. This means they arrive ready to start their appointment, and you can arrive ready to help. Jenn's online intake forms are fully customizable to ensure you're collecting everything you need ahead of time, whether that's a credit card on file, insurance billing details, or a signed consent. You can build your intake forms from scratch or use a template from Jenn's template library and customize it further to meet your practice needs. If you're interested in learning more, head to jenn.app/guide or use the code wellness1mo at sign up to receive a 1-month grace period on your new account. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Today on the show, we have Jenn Collins. Jenn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Kendall. It's so nice to be here.
Let's start. You and I know each other a bit. We've gotten the chance to spend some time together, but I'd love for you to share with our audience just a bit about who you are and how you got to be doing what you're doing now.
Well, thank you. I am an acupuncturist and have been for over 20 years in the same state as you, Oregon. I'm just on the southern end of the state here. And I also run a virtual reception company that helps acupuncturists and chiropractors answer their phones, make appointments, schedule on their designated scheduling softwares, and just take that administrative burden off of them so they can run better practices.
Amazing. So, coming from your background as an acupuncturist, why did you originally decide to start the virtual reception company?
My spin-off business, as it were. A lot of us have those, but yeah, so it kind of happened organically. I lost a receptionist who was very great. I really loved her a lot. She gave her notice and had to move to Sacramento, and I was just so sad to lose her. You know, when you find those good ones, you're really just like, oh, they're so amazing. And this all happened around 2016. And in 2017, I made the leap to electronic health records, and I chose Jenn app after doing a lot of test driving, which was just a lucky, great choice for me, still using Jenn. And one day, that old receptionist called me, and she was like, gosh, I'm still having trouble finding work. I wish I could find do you know anyone in Sacramento that might need it? And it just kind of hit me like a freight train, like, oh my goodness, now that I have Jenn and I'm doing things electronically and cloud-based, I could hire you to help me with my calls if I could figure out how to route calls and build that kind of call routing system. And so that's what we did. And I hired her back on as a virtual assistant to help me. And it just kind of started organically from there. And then we had people ask us, oh, do you think she would help me? And so we added a couple more people on. And then eventually we discovered we could really help a lot of people with this. And so we started the business together. And here we are today answering for many, many acupuncture and chiropractic clinics across the country.
It's amazing. It really is such a high need and amazing resource and just specifically for acupuncturists. And I know you've started working with chiropractors as well, and we can get into that in a bit. But I'm curious, I think providers will ask me a lot about different front desk scenarios, So should they have someone in person? Should they hire a virtual assistant? Should they hire an answering service, which can sometimes be different than a virtual assistant, right? So what do you see most commonly as the scenario at front desk with the clinics that you're supporting with virtual assisting?
Well, our sweet spot that we've found over the last few years is the busy solopreneur, the person who sees about 30 to 40 clients a week and is just at that level of busyness where they're really bogged down with handling some of those other administrative tasks. But they're also maybe not quite busy enough or have the budget to have a full-time front desk person employed in their office. So we're a really great fit for that particular scenario. Of course, people call us all the time and they're like, well, I have an office manager, plus I'd like you to handle our rollover calls, and we can do that as well. Or sometimes people call us and they just say, I don't have any space in my office for a receptionist. I don't even have a reception area. We just have a little place with a chair, and that's it. So I guess all of those reasons are good reasons to hire us. But again, I think our sweet spot is the busy practitioner who is seeing, 30 to 45 clients per week and just kind of in their groove with client care, really loves their time with their clients, really doesn't want to make those phone calls at the end of the day or get into the texting pattern with patients. So I think we're a really great solution for that particular fit.
Yeah. I'm curious to your thoughts on kind of in-person administrative assistants, office managers in general versus virtual assistants. And you've experienced both, right, as a provider and clinic owner. And, now you're in this virtual world. What are the pros and cons that you have experienced of both scenarios?
Well, that all depends on the person as well and the clinical setting. But like at my clinic, we have a little bit of a hybrid approach. So I do have an office manager that works for me about 20 hours a week in the office. And then we use Acu-Hub to answer all of our phones. And that way my office manager isn't bombarded by continual calls while she's getting tasks done, like pre-authorizations and insurance, stuff like that. So I think the pros are, obviously, having your phone answered is the number one thing that is important. A lot of people don't realize how significant that is until it starts happening for them. And they're like, oh my goodness, my business has really grown just because we answered the phone. So I think number one is you need to have your phone answered, whether it's by a person sitting in the office or a person that's virtual. It's really important in the business that we do. Clearly, if your client base maybe is elderly, it would be more of a con. I mean, for you to have a virtual, you'd want to have someone at the office probably to do a little bit more hand holding and ushering them in. If you have a client base that's really tech savvy, that doesn't mind working with a virtual, then we're going to be a pro for you. So I think it kind of depends on your location and your client base to determine what is the proper fit for you. Because there certainly are pros and cons to both. One of the biggest pros to having virtual is the budgetary savings, in my opinion. It really cuts it down by about 75%.
Yeah, I agree with that. We've done a hybrid over the years on different phases as well, where we have that in-person support with the kind of after hours answering from virtual assistant, and it helps create kind of a comprehensive experience for the patient.
Yeah. It's really great when they know your policies, when they can answer all the questions appropriately and they're not just like an answering service, but it really helps when that virtual assistant is really keyed in on your services, your schedule, your providers. They're really,
exactly.
And that's what we do.
Exactly. And that's really the difference between a call, an answering service and a virtual assistant is that personalization. And, it's having an answering service is a step above not answering the phone live, for sure.
Right.
And will still convert more people than not answering the phone live. But it definitely is more effective, I would agree, if they can speak to your specific providers and team and services.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have that welcoming, empathetic approach where they feel like you're sitting at the front desk when they make that phone call, but then they walk in and they say, well, "Where's, Bernadette? I've enjoyed talking to her. I was expecting to see her, and she's not there." But they go, "Oh, that was how good that service was for me. It felt like they were really there at the desk."
Yeah. So, what qualities are you looking for when you are hiring receptionists, administrative assistants, or whether in person or virtual?
That's a great question, and I think empathy is at the top of my list on that one. When I'm hiring someone to work in my office or for my company, I think empathy is one of the biggest skills that you can't really teach. They have to have that. They have to bring that in with them. They can learn the software, they can learn the apps, but they can't really learn how to empathize with a patient that might be in pain, patient that might, be struggling with a health concern, patient that has other kinds of issues that we don't even know yet. So that's the top of my list is empathy. And then, of course, multitasking and prioritizing, learning how to prioritize tasks, knowing what's most important is also kind of the top of the list characteristic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great ones. Jenn Collins, thank you so much for being here with us today. Jenn had to step out, but she has an amazing giveaway for our listeners. She's offering a free half-hour business brainstorm call for acupuncturists and chiropractors. And the really exciting thing that I want to make sure we share about for Jenn is that in addition to Acu-Hub, she has now expanded into Chiro-Hub, which is supporting chiropractors with virtual assisting. So definitely check her out. And we'll have all the information in the show notes on how you can find them and work with them and grab your free half-hour business brainstorm. So we appreciate all of your insights today, Jenn, and hope to talk to you again soon. Thanks so much for listening to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com for more show notes and additional episodes. By the way, I love hearing from listeners. Please send me an email at Kendall, Kendall, at wellnesscentercreators.com with your feedback. And if you send me a question, maybe I'll read it on the show, anonymously, of course. Thanks so much again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.